Hey everyone, I'm here to make another video today. First I want to say I'm sorry that I have taken such a long time to make my next video. Truth is, I got pregnant. I'm about 4 months along now, so it's the first couple of months for me were really rough, just with morning sickness, nausea and all of that, just being really tired all the time. So I just didn't have the energy to even think about making a video. I was just kind of dealing with the first trimester being really rough. So that's passed and I'm doing really good now, and I'm ready for this next video, which I have been preparing for a really long time, making my notes and everything. This is an important video, guys, because when it comes to talking about spirituality, consciousness and all that, before we can even get into the more advanced topics, the first thing that we need to master is loving ourselves and accepting ourselves. And this is something that a lot of people claim to do but don't really do. And not to preach as a master here or something, I'm not. I work on this all the time. So this video is basically just me sharing what I've learned, sharing what's worked for me, what's helped me heal, and what's helped me love myself unconditionally, not conditionally. Big difference. So I really want to talk about this today. It's super, super important, okay, as we move forward in this timeline that we're on. So first of all, what is unconditional love? There's a misconception, okay? People think unconditional love is you having to literally love everybody and just put up basically with everyone. And that's not at all what it is. Actually, it's the opposite. Okay, when you unconditionally love yourself, you automatically unconditionally love everyone else around you. This is part of that, inner going forth to the outer worlds, inner worlds versus outer worlds. Okay, it always starts with you. Never starts with the outside world. Always starts within. So when you learn to unconditionally love yourself, what does this mean? It means acceptance. Unconditional love, in one word, okay, the best way to describe what it is acceptance. Acceptance of yourself, of all aspects of yourself. Now, because life is this consistent journey of self-discovery, as you get older, each day that passes, sometimes each minute or each hour that passes, you learn different things about yourself, okay? These are different aspects of yourself, and some you can describe as positive, like maybe you're a very patient person, you're very giving, different aspects of yourself. And then there's other aspects which we tend to judge very harshly and label as negative, okay? It's important not to do this to yourself, because there's not one person in this world who is just all positive aspects or positive characteristics. There isn't. And we live in a dualistic world, in this 3D world, and it's just not possible. There's not one person that's like that. So the important thing here is acceptance. When it comes to yourself, acceptance of all that you are. All the good, we're going to label good, okay, even though there's really no such thing as good or bad. But just for, the sake of this discussion, we'll just label it as good and bad. So you're going to have good aspects of yourself and what you would consider bad aspects of yourself. And as long as you're not hurting anyone, this isn't a trait of yours where you're intentionally going out and hurting people, okay, because that's wrong, obviously, and that's something, if you're doing that, you're projecting, you have a lot of self-hate, and that's not unconditional love, that's not accepting yourself, and you need to work on that and work on those triggers. But what I'm talking about is just who you are as a person, whatever has made you who you are until this point, and accepting all of those aspects of yourself. And I want to give you an example of what I mean by this. Something happened recently, okay? So this is a personal experience where we had a house guest come and stay with us for about a month. And at first, when this house guest came to stay with us, I was fine. I said, okay, no problem, we'll make the best of it. I very quickly learned something about myself, that because no one's ever stayed there, no house guest or anyone has ever stayed with my family, with me like that for that period of time, which for me is a long time. And I very quickly discovered that I am not a person at all who likes to have house guests. I'm not. And it was a hard lesson for me, because the thing that I was doing in the beginning was I was battling with myself. I was battling with my thoughts. Okay, this person started to trigger me constantly. Whenever the person would come in the morning for breakfast and I would see them, I would get triggered. I would get really annoyed. Like, I felt horrible. I felt like a really bad person. I was like, why the house guest staying with us was a very nice person. But there were little things that they were doing which I did not like. And I didn't in the beginning have the courage to speak, to actually say to this person's face, I don't like what you're doing. Please do this differently, out of respect for staying with us. Just things like cleaning up after yourself, things like that. This person was not doing those things. And it started to agitate me to the point where I started fighting with my husband about it, because it was his cousin, really. And the person was staying with us for, business reasons, for work reasons, because they were working together. And so I was just kind of putting up with it, for the sake of my husband, basically, because he needed that person close by, in close proximity to him, because they were working together. And they were working like 12 hours a day, sometimes more. So they needed to be, he needed to be constantly here. And so I was putting up with it, but at the same time, I was getting agitated, and it was building up. My anger was building up every single day towards this person, where the minute I would see their face, my mood would change. I would get in such a bad mood. And one day I just blew up with my husband. Like, I literally started crying, because I was like, I can't take this anymore. I can't live like this. I feel like I'm fighting with my soul. This is not what I want. This does not make me happy, and I don't like this situation. And he was so understanding and so loving. And he's like, why didn't you just say something earlier? And I was like, why didn't I? There's always a solution. There's always another way. And he said to me something really important. He's like, don't think that you're a bad person because of it. Accept that that's just who you are. You are very picky with the way your house is, with your like I am. My home is my sanctuary, and I don't like to have random people coming in that I don't know, even though the house guest staying with us was his cousin, whom he knew really well, like brothers. I did not know him like that, and it takes me a while to really develop that with somebody. I'm not somebody who just in a second is like, oh my God, we're best friends. No, it takes me a long time. And I wasn't vibing with this person at all. Just our personalities, the way we grew up, our viewpoints on many things we were not vibing, okay? And I was trying too hard. I was like, why are we not vibing? Why is this not working? Is it me? Is there something wrong with me? And when my husband told me, no, it's okay, like, you're not a bad person, because I was really being really hard on myself about it. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me. I must be this really shitty person, and oh my, like, I was really being really hard on myself. And he said, no, don't do that to yourself. It's okay. Well, and we figured out a way to get him, to move somewhere else, situate him somewhere else. And it was fine, and it worked out. And I was happy again, because I had my space back to myself, my privacy back. And it's important. It's important to accept who you are, even the things that annoy you. The things, if there's people in your life, like friends, for example, or even family members who you don't like, who you just don't vibe with, don't force it. That's not unconditional love, because that's not unconditional love to you. You're forcing something that is not meant to be, and you're making yourself uncomfortable, and you're messing around with your own energy, and that's not right. That's not loving yourself at all. True unconditional love is acceptance, yes. Acceptance of who you are, and also acceptance of who everyone else is. And accepting that you don't have to get along with everyone. You can accept that that's how they are. You don't have to say they're bad people. No, there's no bad person, okay? No one is bad in that sense. But we have to understand everything is vibration and energy. We carry our own energetic signature, and others as well. So if you're vibrating here, for example, and you have somebody who's vibrating down here, doesn't mean they're worse than you. No. It does not mean that. They're on their own path, their own journey. Yes, you may be a little more evolved than them. Accept it. That's the truth. We're not all at the same level. Absolutely not. And understand that you need to give this person their space, distance yourself from them, and wish them the best. That's it. That is unconditional love. That's literally what it is. Create your space for yourself. Create your sanctuary for yourself. That is true unconditional love. Cut out the toxic people from your life. You don't need to hurt them, right? You don't need to do anything. You just need to cut them out of your life. Let them go on, because while you may be getting triggered by these people, they may also be getting triggered by you, by your vibration, because your vibration may be too high for them, and it may be bringing out things in them, reflecting things back to them that they don't like, that they're not ready for yet in their journey, if you know what I mean. So it's toxic for you, and it could also be toxic for them. Okay? This is what I mean. So it's very important to accept every part of who you are, the dark side and the light. Okay? And just love it all, because that's who you are, and you're not going to change. No one's going to change. That's just who you are. So that's super important. Creating those boundaries for yourself so that people don't take advantage or don't suck your energy. I have a video that I put up months ago on energy vampires. Okay, and that's not to say that they're like these horrible vampiric beings. No, it's just the action of what they're doing is that your energy to them is like a source. It feeds them. So they feed on your energy, and they drain you. And this is not something they're doing intentionally. It's just that you guys are not matching your vibrations. You're not meant to be constantly interacting with people like this, because it's going to affect you at the end of the day. Okay, it's an unhealthy energy exchange. It's not correct. It shouldn't be that way. So set your boundaries, really. Now, something about your inner child. So of course we all have our traumas that we carry with us from a lot of childhood, experiences. And these traumas act out sometimes in our day-to-day lives. It happens. Now, another part of not loving yourself is when you reject this. It's like, imagine inside of you, imagine you as that little child, as that 4-year-old or that 5-year-old, having your tantrum, acting out because of something horrible that's happened, okay, whatever your trauma was. How would you normally deal with a child that's acting out? Would you tell them to shut up and to go away? No. Would you tell them that you don't want to talk to them, you don't have time for that? Would you get annoyed with them? No, they're a child. You would take the time to listen, to figure out what's bothering them. And this is how you need to treat yourself. So when you wake up and you have those days where you're just getting triggered because of your own traumas from your past, it's important not to get annoyed with yourself. And I've done this before. That's why I'm saying this from experience. Like, you really need to learn to be patient and loving with yourself when these traumas start to rise and show up. Okay? For example, if you feel the need to cry, let it out, because crying is one of the best, most powerful forms of healing. It really is. Okay, it releases a lot. Don't fight it. Don't say, oh my God, here we go again. I'm waking up in a bad mood and this is triggering me. And no, I don't want to deal with this. It's so stupid. It's so, I don't have the time for this. No, that's not. You're pushing it aside. It's going to come out, like it's going to erupt later on even more strongly, even worse. So this is what not to do. This is called not, what's the word? This is not self-acceptance, which means it's not unconditional love. This is conditional love, actually. You're saying, I'm only going to deal with you when you're acting okay, when you're acting good, when you're behaving. The minute you're not behaving, I don't want to deal with you. Okay, you wouldn't parent your own child that way, would you? No, you wouldn't. Okay, you love your child unconditionally, whether they're having a tantrum, whether they're yelling, whether they're being on their best behavior. It doesn't matter. That's your child. And you love them. You love all aspects of your child. Okay? This is how you need to treat yourself. Deal with your emotions. Let them pass. Let them rise. If you're having one of those days, let yourself rest. Go lie down. Put some binaural beats on to help you heal. Feel out those emotions. Cry for an hour if you need to. Take the day off if you need to. You know? And you'll see how much better you feel. Talk about your feelings. If you feel up to it, talk to your partner, talk to one of your best friends, like somebody you trust. Say, I'm feeling really shitty today. These emotions are coming up from my childhood of not feeling worthy, of feeling rejected by my parents or my friends or whatever your trauma is, because everyone has a different thing that they've dealt with. So deal with your emotions. Be patient. Be loving with yourself. You know? And heal yourself. This is so important, guys. So important right now, especially. Voicing yourself. Your throat chakra, guys. Super, super, super sensitive. Super important to deal with this. Something I personally have struggled with for years and years and years. And the example I gave earlier about the house guest, I was struggling at that time, just voicing myself. I ended up actually speaking face to face with this house guest before he left. I lost it one of the days. I got really mad because he didn't pick up after himself. He just kind of left the dishes, and I got really mad. I was like, that's it, I'm done. And I said, I'm sorry, you're not my child, okay? I understand that you have a lot of work to do and this, that, and the other, but you, out of respect for staying in somebody's house, you need to clean up after yourself. I'm not your mother. Okay, I was really mad, to be quite honest, but I voiced myself, and he took it really well, shockingly. And he cleaned up his act right away. He started cleaning up after himself. He became very considerate, asking, do I need anything? Do you need help with anything? And I really loosened up after that with him. I started to open up a little more. I was more patient with him because I was like, okay, cool. Like, you're getting it. Now, how was he supposed to know? Maybe he was raised differently. Maybe in his house, his mother did everything for him. I don't know, right? I mean, I'm not trying to judge. I'm just saying everyone has been raised differently. I am a specific way because of how I was raised. I was raised to clean up after myself, be responsible for myself, not have to be told. Okay, I'm just a very considerate person. It's who I am. And I have my dark side too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm this, oh my God, amazing, perfect person. No. But when it comes to those things, that's just who I am. And people who don't do those things, to me, it triggers me. Because I'm like, it's just basic self, like it's basic consideration when you're staying with somebody to know. But it isn't for everyone. You can't assume that everyone thinks like you. But the minute you voice yourself, the minute you speak, not being afraid of what you're saying, but genuinely speaking, you get it out of you. You no longer have it trapped inside of you. And you get your message across to the other person, and they understand. And if they're not going to understand, they're going to fight with you, well, then you need to just cut cords with that person. You know what I mean? You have voiced yourself, and if they're not willing to understand, then there's a bad energy exchange between you guys. You guys are vibing on totally different levels. And you can say, you know what, I wish you the best, but I don't need you in my life. Okay? So learn to voice yourself, guys. Learn to speak and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of confrontation. You don't have to go and start cussing at the person, right? You don't have to go start swearing and saying you're a piece of shit. No, it's not what I'm saying. Learn to voice yourself in a mature way. We're grown adults here, right? If you're upset, it's fine. Calm yourself down and then go speak to the person and say, listen, I don't like that you did this. I don't like that you said this. I don't like that you behaved this way. I want you to do it this way. It's okay to voice yourself, and it's okay to say those things. So I have some examples here of how to set boundaries, okay? Just some examples of how to set boundaries, things that you are responsible for, how to take your power back. I'm just going to read these out to you because I wrote them down. And they're really powerful, so listen to this carefully. It's not my responsibility to make sure others are responsible. It's not my job to rescue people from their drama. It's okay if others get angry. It's okay to say no. It is my job to make me happy and figure out what brings me joy. It's not my job to think, feel, or live for others. I have a right to feel my feelings, no matter what anyone else feels or says about my feelings. No one has to agree with me. No one has a right to verbally abuse me, and that includes family, friends, partners, and coworkers. It's okay to spend time alone without explaining myself. I do not need permission to be who I am, think what I think, nor to honor me. Other people have every right to not like me or disagree with me, but they do not have the right to disrespect me. I have a right to end draining conversations and relationships. I know I am enough. Okay? I actually saw these in a meme on Facebook, I don't know, probably a month back, maybe a little more than a month back. And I loved these because they are so spot on. You know, they're so spot on when it comes to setting boundaries and taking your power back. We have this, like, feelings of guilt have been normalized in today's society, unfortunately, where we feel it's our responsibility to care about other people's feelings and what they're going to feel and what they're going to think about us. And no, it's not. Like, your only job and your only responsibility is you. Taking care of you. That's it. Okay, of course, if you have a family, you have children, it's different. You have little children, you have a responsibility to take care of them. Each individual is responsible for their own feelings. This is very important to learn, including your partner. You're not responsible for making sure that your partner's happy. We need to make sure we are happy. This is our job. Fulfilling your own desires or, dreams or goals, taking care of your own energy, that is your job. And that's it. You are not responsible for anybody else. So I thought these were really important to read out, just to give you an idea. Okay. Being authentic, this is, one of the hugest things, guys. It shouldn't be hard to do, but I have noticed a lot of people have a really hard time being true to themselves and being authentic because they're afraid of what others will think of them, and they're afraid of being judged. They're people pleasers. A lot of people are people pleasers. All they're concerned with is what others think of them and making sure that they're pleasing these people. That's not a way to live, guys. That's not a way to live. Conforming is not living. That's not living at all. Being authentic to yourself, what does it mean? It means that no matter who you're around, your behavior does not change. Okay? It doesn't change. The way that you see me talking now, you will see me like this anywhere I go, no matter who I'm surrounded with. I could be surrounded by a celebrity next to me, or by a poor person, in the market, or it doesn't matter. This is how I speak. This is how I am. This is who I am. And I will never change, and I don't change. Anyone you ask who knows me knows that this is how I am. I can be brutally honest. It's the truth. Not everyone likes it. I've ended a lot of relationships because of that, because a lot of people can't take my brutal honesty. But it's the truth. Like, I have to voice myself. If you're being a hypocritical person and I notice this, I'm not just gonna, shy away and not say anything. It's not who I am. I'm super authentic to who I am. And I'm all about the truth. I'm all about speaking your truth and living your truth. So if you're in my life, let's say you're a new person entering my life as a friend, right? And I'm seeing these kind of behavior patterns keep coming up where I see you doing things that are very hypocritical, or you're saying one thing, doing something else, or you're a very gossipy type of person. I don't like gossip, first of all. That's one thing about me. I'm not a gossipy kind of person. I say things as they are. I always have been this way. But I am not somebody to go behind your back and now start talking shit about you to somebody else. Way too many people do that. I've noticed that. And it's important not to be that way, okay? I will say something. If you're in my life and you're like that, I mean, you'll notice me quickly cut you out of my life, but I will, before I do that, I will make sure I tell you, I let you know that this is what you're doing and it's not cool. It's not cool to be this way. I accept that's how you are. I'm not going to fight with you. I'm not going to harm you or hurt you or do anything like that, but I am going to tell you I don't think what you're doing is right, and I don't need somebody like that in my life. So I wish you the best on your journey. I really hope for your sake you learn your lessons the fastest way possible, so not to suffer. But it's not my responsibility. You're not my responsibility. So I wish you the best on your journey. Farewell. Like, that's literally what I do. And I will very easily cut people out of my life. It's something I do. It's something I do because I value my energy in my life very much. I have worked so hard, so ridiculously hard to get to where I am now, which is a place I'm very happy with. I am so blissful. I'm so grateful, okay? So abundant. All these things come to you when you unconditionally love yourself and you create that environment for yourself where you don't let anybody take advantage of you. You only associate yourself with others who are of your vibration, okay? Then your life really starts to change, guys. It reflects that in such a way. You start to manifest in such a different way. It's crazy. It's really crazy. All those 3D struggles go away. I no longer worry about money. I'll be very honest with you. It comes, it flows in, it's abundant. Love is abundant. Peace is abundant in my life. Opportunities are abundant. You know, the universe quickly removes people from my life who no longer serve me. Sometimes I don't have to even do anything. It just does it in a weird way, in this divine way. And it starts to bring in these other people who I don't even know how it happens. It's like a divine intervention. It's like magic. I don't know, okay? But it's that 5D vibration where what you need just comes. It just comes. And it's a really beautiful way of living, guys. It really is. It's possible. It's there. I'm in it. You can be in it. But you need to take your control back. You need to set your boundaries. And you need to learn to unconditionally love yourself and unconditionally love the rest of the world. And by that, again, I reiterate, it just means acceptance. That's all it means. It doesn't mean you have to go out and save the world and involve yourself in everyone's lives and help everyone. That's not what it means, guys. It's really not. That's interference, actually. A lot of people have karmic lessons they need to learn. When you get involved, you're interfering, you're prolonging. It's the opposite. You may in turn then even get karma on you, bad karma that you don't want to do that. Just mind your own business, work on you, do you. Elevate yourself, elevate your life, work on your goals, do the things that make you happy. And that's it. It's as simple as that, you guys. Don't feel guilty. Don't have feelings of guilt for how you feel. Do not do that, because that is going to take you into a vicious cycle, a really vicious cycle. Yeah, guys, I think I covered it all here. So that's really what I wanted to make today's video on. If you have any questions about what I talked about today, definitely leave a comment down below. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I have a group, a really good group that's growing on Facebook called Truth Seekers and Spreaders 5D Earth Knowledge. So it's a really great group where we share this kind of information. So take a look at that if you're interested, and contact me if you have any questions at all, please. I'm totally open to that at any time. And yeah, I just wanted to send you guys a lot of love. Happy winter solstice. Today's the 21st. So work on relaxing yourself, grounding yourself. Keep yourself grounded today. And vibe super high. Today's a day to vibe high and to rest and to ground. We're in a really exciting time. Wishing everyone a Merry Christmas, since it's going to be a couple days away. And sending you a lot of love, a lot of light and high vibes, okay? Take care, guys. Be good.